Chosen one, listen closely. Something in you recognized this moment before your mind did. You did not just stumble into this message. You were guided. Your spirit was drawn here, the way a compass turns toward true north. Heaven scheduled this exact second. The veil shifted the instant you pressed play, and the Father has been waiting for you to reach this doorway. You have been walking through days that felt ordinary, even invisible. Yet heaven has not seen one moment as ordinary. God has been watching you with joy, not judgment. He saw the way you kept going when you felt unseen. He saw the restraint you chose when anger tried to rise. He saw your gentleness in a world that rewards hardness. These things may have felt small to you, but nothing small is wasted in the kingdom. Every quiet yes you whispered, every time you walked away from conflict, every moment you chose peace over pride, heaven counted it. Sincerity has a sound, and your spirit has been speaking loudly in the places no one else could hear. While others measured your worth by what was visible, God measured your heart by what was real. Chosen one, you need to hear this. God is proud of you, deeply, joyfully, unshakably proud, not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful when no one was clapping. You have been faithful in the shadows, and heaven leans in when faithfulness rises from hidden places. So pause with me. Let your spirit breathe for a moment. You are not here by chance. You are here because the God who wrote your days in his book saw this moment as a turning point. And now he is about to show you why your name has been on his heart. Stay open. Something sacred is beginning. Chosen one, I know you've been carrying more than anyone realizes. There were days you showed up with a steady face while your heart was trembling. Days when you poured out kindness and received nothing back. Days when your discipline, your patience, your restraint went completely unnoticed. You started to wonder if any of it mattered, if anyone saw, if heaven still cared. But hear me, heaven saw every bit of it. God saw the moment you chose peace when pride pushed you to defend yourself. He saw the moment you walked away instead of fighting back. He saw when you forgave in silence, when you held your tongue, when you kept loving when bitterness would have been easier. These are the moments the world calls small, but heaven calls sacred. Sincerity has a sound, and your spirit has been speaking truth even in the quiet. You've been hard on yourself for not being further ahead. You've looked at your journey and whispered, maybe I'm not enough. But while you were criticizing yourself for the distance you still have to travel, heaven was celebrating the distance you've already walked. Like the widow with only 2 coins, your offering didn't look large, but God saw the cost behind it, and he called it beautiful. There were tears you never let fall in public, yet heaven counted every one. There were prayers you prayed through clenching pain, and God leaned closer each time. While you felt invisible, the Father was watching over you like a keeper guarding foundations stone by stone. He hasn't just seen your fight. He has honored it. And here's something you need to hear deeply. Your survival was not weakness. It was worship. Your restraint was not silence. It was spiritual authority. You didn't collapse. You didn't harden. You stayed tender in seasons that tried to break you. That is the kind of obedience heaven celebrates. You think you've been moving too slowly, but God is not disappointed in your pace. He treasures direction more than perfection. Every step you took with a weary heart, every sunrise you faced after a night of wrestling, every moment you stayed instead of running, heaven recorded it as strength. You are not behind, you are not overlooked, you are not forgotten. You've been walking through the unseen hallways of obedience, and heaven has been paying attention to every quiet footstep. Chosen one, pause here for a moment. If something in your spirit is stirring, if a part of you feels seen or understood, that is not emotion. That is recognition. Your spirit knows when truth is speaking to it. So, I'm going to ask you to do something bold, simple, and spiritual. Mark this moment. Type a word of alignment in the comments. You can write, "I receive," or "I am ready," or even a single "Amen." This is not for validation, this is agreement. A signal from your heart that you recognize God is speaking to you in this very hour. And before you scroll, hear me clearly. This is not the moment to drift away. Your spirit led you here. And the next part of this message carries something you have been praying for without knowing how to articulate it. Stay close, stay present, stay open. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that now so you don't lose the voice that's been guiding you back to clarity. When you subscribe, you're not joining a channel. You're choosing to stay under the sound that brings your spirit into alignment. Place your hand over your heart for a second. Breathe in deeply. Let your soul settle. You are preparing yourself to hear the revelation that has been waiting for you. The next few moments will explain why your name has been echoing in heaven and what God has been setting in motion for your life. Chosen one, there is something sacred unfolding in you that you may not have fully recognized. You have been measuring your life by what you accomplished, what you fixed, and how far you think you still have to go. But heaven has been measuring something entirely different. God has been watching your heart, not your checklists. He has been watching your courage, not your pace. He has been watching the way you keep choosing what is right, even when no one is there to applaud you. Listen closely. Heaven does not crown the visible. Heaven crowns the faithful. You have spent so much time feeling like you are behind, like you should have been stronger, more disciplined, more confident. But God has not once measured you by the standard you use on yourself. He has seen the weight you carried quietly. He has seen the battles you never told anyone about. He has seen the effort you made to stay gentle in seasons that tried to make you hard. And He calls that holy. There is a pattern woven through Scripture that often goes unnoticed. God searches for sincerity in the hidden places. When Samuel looked at David's brothers, he saw height and strength, but God said, "The Lord looks at the heart." That truth did not end with David. It includes you. Your heart has been speaking louder than your actions. Your sincerity has been echoing louder than your confidence. And heaven listens to sincerity long before it listens to achievement. You keep thinking you must fix everything before God can use you. But in the kingdom, it is not perfection that unlocks purpose. It is direction. When Jesus told the parable of the talents, He did not reward the one who produced the most. He rewarded the ones who were faithful with what they had. That same principle is working in your life right now. God is not comparing you to anyone else. He is watching how you carry what He entrusted to you, and He is pleased. But there is something deeper He wants to reveal to you. Many people try to change their behavior without healing their identity. They try to correct the fruit without tending to the root. But real transformation does not start with what you do. It starts with who you believe you are. If the enemy can confuse your identity, he can distort your choices, your emotions, your decisions, your relationships, and your confidence. That is why he attacks the mind before he attacks anything else. You have called yourself names God never gave you. You have labeled yourself by seasons that were meant to be temporary. You have believed lies that did not come from heaven. You said you were weak. God said you were resilient. You said you were failing. God said you were still standing. You said you were behind. God said you were being prepared. Identity has always been the battleground. That is why Proverbs 23 says, "As a person thinks in their heart, so they are." Your inner narrative is shaping the way you move in the world. If you keep telling yourself you are broken, you will move like someone who has nothing to offer. If you keep telling yourself you are late, you will rush through seasons meant for rest. If you keep telling yourself you are unworthy, you will reject opportunities heaven is opening for you. Chosen one, Your identity must shift before your season shifts. So let me teach you something important. Your words are seeds. Every sentence you speak about yourself plants something in your spirit. When you say, "I cannot," you plant fear. When you say, "I am not enough," you plant limitation. But when you say, "God is with me," you plant courage. When you say, "I am chosen," you plant identity. When you say, "I am growing," you plant hope. Proverbs 18 says, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue." You have spoken enough fear over your future. It is time to speak life over your becoming. Sometimes spiritual maturity does not look like bold declarations in public. Sometimes it looks like pausing in the middle of frustration and whispering, "What would love do here?" Sometimes it looks like catching a negative thought before it grows. Sometimes it looks like choosing silence instead of reaction. Sometimes it looks like letting God calm your mind before you respond. These are not small moments. They are sacred decisions. Each one is a step into alignment. And alignment is everything. When your heart aligns with heaven, clarity comes. When your choices align with truth, peace comes. When your identity aligns with what God says, freedom comes. Let me give you a new image to carry. Think of your life like a garden. The soil is your heart. The seeds are your choices. The roots are your identity. The fruit is your behavior. You cannot force fruit. You can only nurture roots. And you nurture roots by tending to the soil of your thoughts. Every gentle answer you give, every moment you step back to breathe, every time you choose grace, you are watering the garden. You are cultivating what heaven planted in you long before you understood it. This is why rest matters so deeply. Rest is not laziness. Rest is spiritual warfare. Rest says, "I trust God more than my anxiety." Rest says, "I believe God is moving even when I cannot see progress." Rest says, "My life is not held together by my performance." Rest is where God restores vision. Rest is where He softens the places hardened by disappointment. Rest is where He realigns your identity with His voice. Remember when Elijah looked for God in the wind, the earthquake, the fire? God was not in any of them. He was in the gentle whisper. The whisper still comes today, and it comes when your soul is quiet enough to hear it. But there is another truth you must hold tightly. You are not who you used to be. You have grown. You have changed. You have survived battles that could have broken you. Even if no one else noticed your transformation, heaven did. You walked out of seasons stronger than you realized. You outlasted storms that were meant to silence you. You forgave when you could have hardened. You stayed when it would have been easier to disappear. You keep comparing yourself to an older version of you, thinking you must somehow return to who you once were. But God is not calling you back. He is calling you forward. Philippians 3 says to forget what is behind and press toward what is ahead. You cannot rise while looking backward. You cannot walk into a new season while gripping old shame. You cannot carry the old story into the new identity God is forming in you. Chosen one, the tension you feel between who you were and who you are becoming is not failure. It is transformation. And transformation rarely feels clean. Most of the time, it feels like pressure. It feels like stretching. It feels like taking steps that do not make sense yet. But on the other side of that stretching, something stronger emerges, something clearer, something truer. This is why God has not given up on you. He sees what is growing beneath the surface. He sees the treasure inside the jar of clay. 2 Corinthians reminds us that the treasure does not come from us. It comes from God. You may feel cracked, but you are still carrying glory. You may feel tired, but you are still being shaped. You may feel unsure, but you are still being led. And now, chosen one, let this settle deep into your spirit. Heaven is not waiting to celebrate you someday. Heaven is celebrating you now. Your obedience has been noticed. Your sincerity has been honored. Your growth has been recorded. And God is preparing you for more, not because you have proven yourself worthy, but because He has always known who you truly are. You are not being rebuilt. You are being revealed. And what God is revealing is stronger than who you used to be. Chosen one, now breathe. Let your spirit settle, because what comes next is not explanation, it is revelation. You have walked through hidden seasons, quiet obedience, silent endurance, and heaven did not overlook any of it. Those seasons were not punishment, they were preparation. And now something is shifting around your life, not gradually, suddenly. The atmosphere around you is changing. What felt heavy is beginning to lift. What felt delayed is being delivered. What felt blocked is opening. You may not see the full picture yet, but the spiritual pressure you have been feeling is not attack. It is emergence. The ground beneath you has been breaking so something new could rise through it. You have been in a forming season, and now you are moving into a revealing season. Think of Joseph. One day he was in a prison that seemed endless. The next day he was standing in front of Pharaoh. Everything changed in a moment. When divine timing arrives, it does not knock softly. It moves with clarity. It moves with authority. It moves with acceleration. That same acceleration is beginning to rest on your life. Not because of luck, but because of alignment. You have remained faithful, and heaven is responding. I want you to see what God is placing in front of you. I want you to see it with spiritual eyes, not tired eyes. You are stepping into a season of open doors, not doors you have to force. Doors that respond to your presence. Doors that were written into your story before you took your first breath. Habakkuk says, I am doing something in your days that you would not believe even if you were told. That is the kind of movement God is setting in motion. Unpredictable, undeniable, unstoppable. There is also a calling rising in you that you may have tried to silence. A quiet sense that you were meant for more responsibility, more influence, more leadership. You have felt it in small waves, but now it comes with clarity. God is placing a mantle on your shoulders, a mantle of wisdom, a mantle of steadiness, a mantle of authority. What you learned in the valley will become strength in the next place He sends you. And yes, there is ascending. For some of you, it will be geographical, a relocation, a shift in environment because your current surroundings can no longer hold your growth. For others, the relocation is internal. God is moving you into boldness, into confidence, into a voice that carries weight. There is also a global dimension to this shift. God has been raising voices, healing hearts, and awakening spirits across nations. You are part of that wave, a remnant emerging in clarity, a generation rising not with noise, but with discernment. The world is shaking, but heaven is not. And God is placing people like you in positions where peace, wisdom, and truth are needed. Chosen one, look ahead. You are stepping into a future where strategies replace confusion, where provision replaces anxiety, where favor replaces delay. Isaiah says, "No weapon formed against you will prosper." That is not a metaphor. It is a spiritual reality. Attacks may form, but they will not land. Resistance may rise, but it will not remain. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered yet. Your presence is being requested in spaces that once felt out of reach. God is preparing opportunities that match the maturity He has cultivated in you. This next season will not look like the last. You will walk lighter. You will walk clearer. You will walk with confidence you did not have before. Chosen one, you are not stepping into a future shaped by fear. You are stepping into a future shaped by favor. The shift has already begun. Your spirit can feel it. Now let your mind catch up. The new chapter is opening, and heaven is writing it with your name on the first page. Chosen one, stay right here. Your spirit is open. This is the moment where truth becomes movement. I want you to take a breath and place your hand over your heart. If you feel led, touch your crown as a sign of agreement. What you seal now becomes the doorway of the days ahead. Let us pray. Father, we come before you with steady hearts and open hands. Thank you for guiding the one listening through every season, every valley, every hidden place. Thank you for the strength you poured into them, even when they felt empty. Thank you for the clarity that is beginning to rise inside them. Lord, I bless their mind, their spirit, their steps. I bless their identity with truth. I bless their future with favor. I declare fresh courage over them. I speak, Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, over their life. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Now I declare alignment. Let every part of their life come into agreement with your voice. Let confusion lift. Let heaviness break. Let old shame fall away. Let clarity settle like light in a quiet room. And now we seal this moment. Seal the renewal. Seal the clarity. Seal the courage. Seal the identity. You have spoken over them. Rise now, chosen one. Move, align, obey. Walk forward knowing heaven goes before you. If this word touched your spirit, write, I receive clarity in the comments. Let it be your mark of agreement. And if you want to stay under messages that keep your spirit awake and aligned, subscribe before you leave. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are becoming. And God is very happy with you. Chosen one, now that this moment has been sealed, I want you to stay with me a little longer. Because what happens right after a spiritual awakening is just as important as the awakening itself. There is a shift that begins inside you, subtle at first, but clear enough that your spirit cannot ignore it. Something is changing about the way you see your story. Something is changing about the way you walk. Something is changing about what you will tolerate and what you will no longer accept. This is the moment after the moment, the part most people skip, the part where heaven watches to see if the truth that touched your spirit will now touch your steps. And I want to walk with you through this transition, because you are not stepping into an ending. You are stepping into a beginning. You may feel a stillness around you right now. It is not emptiness. It is not silence. It is spiritual recalibration. When God pours something new into your life, He often quiets the noise first. He clears the room of old voices. He removes distractions that drained your strength. He softens the atmosphere so your spirit can breathe again. Do not resist this quiet. Do not misinterpret it as loneliness. It is alignment. Think of a seed planted underground. The moment it breaks open, the environment around it becomes still. No sound, no applause, no validation. But something irreversible has already begun. Your spirit is in that same place. What God has awakened in you cannot be undone. You have crossed a threshold. Heaven has taken record, and your future is responding. You may start noticing things differently in the days ahead. The conversations you once tolerated will feel heavy. The habits that used to comfort you will feel empty. The people who once drained you will become easier to release. This is not you turning cold. This is you growing wise. Discernment sharpens after revelation. When your spirit receives clarity, it begins to filter your environment. You are not becoming distant, you are becoming focused. And I want you to hear this clearly. The next chapter of your life will not require the same version of you. New seasons demand new postures. You cannot carry old fears into new territory. You cannot bring old voices into new assignments. You cannot let old shame contaminate new identity. This is why God brought you through such a deep inner cleansing before He brought you here. He was removing what could not survive the next level. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where your internal world becomes stronger than your external circumstances. Your peace will not be fragile. Your confidence will not be borrowed. Your identity will not depend on approvals or outcomes. You will rise from a place of truth, not emotion. From a place of clarity, not confusion. From a place of knowing, not guessing. You may begin to feel a new boldness growing in places where fear once lived. Not arrogance, not pride, but steadiness. You will speak differently because your spirit is grounded differently. You will make decisions faster because your clarity is deeper. You will trust more easily because you finally understand that God has never failed you. He has only been forming you. And yes, there will be moments where the old voice tries to rise again, the voice that says, "You are not ready," the voice that says, "You are not enough," the voice that says, "You are still the same broken version of yourself." But when those whispers come, you will recognize them instantly. They no longer match your identity, they no longer match your direction, they no longer match your calling, and you will answer those lies with truth. You will say, "My steps are ordered." You will say, "God is with me." You will say, "I am becoming everything heaven saw in me." Not because you feel it, but because it is true. Chosen one, there is a reason heaven is investing so much into you right now. There is a reason your spirit is waking up. There is a reason you survived seasons that should have taken you out. You are not being strengthened only for yourself. You are being strengthened so that others can find shelter through you. Your healing will become someone else's hope. Your clarity will become someone else's direction. Your testimony will become someone else's doorway out of darkness. This is why the warfare you faced was so intense. The enemy was not fighting your past. He was fighting your future. He knew what you would become if you ever saw yourself the way heaven sees you. He knew what would awaken in you if the lies finally broke. He knew the kind of leader you would grow into if your spirit ever aligned with truth. And now that alignment has begun, the weight the enemy once held over you is losing its grip. You may even feel lighter without knowing why. Your mind may feel clearer without trying. Your spirit may feel stronger even on days when your body feels tired. This is the evidence of spiritual transformation. You cannot always explain it, but you can feel it. Something in you has shifted beyond the reach of the old chains. And hear this carefully. In the next season, God will bring the right people into your life. People who speak life, not doubt. People who carry peace, not confusion. People who ignite your calling, not drain your spirit. Some will walk with you. Some will pour into you. Some will correct you gently. Some will pray for you privately. These are divine connections, heaven assigned, timely, necessary. You are not meant to walk the next chapter alone. You are meant to walk it aligned. And as you move forward, you will start to see small confirmations, not dramatic signs, subtle moments, a conversation that speaks directly to what you prayed, a verse that matches your season, a sudden peace after a long week, a thought that feels like it came from beyond you. These are heavenly nudges. They are God's way of saying, keep going, you are on the right path. Let this settle in your spirit. You are entering a season of movement, a season of clarity, a season of rebuilding, a season of divine timing. You will look back at this moment months from now and realize it was the turning point. Not because everything changed instantly, but because your identity changed. And once identity shifts, everything else follows. Chosen one, you are not walking out of this moment the same. Something inside you has risen. Something inside you has awakened. Something inside you is ready to step into the life heaven prepared. So keep your heart open, keep your spirit steady, keep your eyes lifted. Your story is not slowing down. It is accelerating. Your future is not uncertain, it is unfolding. Your identity is not shaking, it is settling. And the God who has carried you this far is not done yet. He is just beginning.